Well, hello, my beautifuls. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome all the beautiful new faces. You guys, we have an all-star panel tonight. Carol, I can't talk. It's Mercury retrograde, and it is also a solar eclipse, and I am a Gemini. And if you don't know astrology, that's one of my rulers. The ruler of my world is Mercury, and it's in retrograde. So we're going to take a minute before we get into the deep story of what in the world has been going on over in Sebastian's world, where it's gone from searching for Sebastian to all kinds of drama, but it's also drama that could be directly related to why the child is missing. So it's important drama, and sometimes we just have to watch the drama go back and forth for a little bit to figure out who is telling the truth. And so get ready to deep dive into Sebastian's case, where Chris Proudfoot is now alleging that Nancy Grace is not being truthful. Okay, and I've got a copy of an alleged screenshot of his message where he says this. We're going to get into it big time. That's not the only thing we're going to cover. We're also going to get into what is going back and forth about this polygraph test. Okay? Oh, this gets wild. Then we're going to go till all this gets covered. If it takes us 5 hours tonight, I've decided it's Friday night. We're going to go long or short. It don't matter. I'm not going to leave any subject unturned. This is all about Sebastian Rogers, okay? Never, ever in a million years have I ever heard of, never ever, of someone going behind a search team that's looking for a 15-year-old minor child with disability and pulling down flyers. Never ever in my entire life. And to me, those people need to be held until they produce the who is behind that. Because I'm gonna go there in a second about this whole bully attitude that we're seeing on the searchers has a familiar smell to the arrogant bullying that we saw in some of the interviews, right? It's almost like an MO, a mode of operations. So I was like, let's talk about that because that's weird. Search teams allegedly being stalked and followed, starting on the 10th day after the boy went missing. So that's something to dig into. And then we're going to keep going tonight, even if we have to take one of those little intermission breaks, get our popcorn, snacks, and go potty. We're hanging on, and we're going to cover the flashing lights. What flashing lights are you talking about? There are no flashing lights, Mama D. Oh, really? There should be flashing lights. So, we're going to get talking to all this. But I want to welcome you all. Remember, this is a live, and you might be watching replay. I want to humbly thank you for watching replay. You guys feed that algorithm so well, and I appreciate it. I also appreciate you showing up for the live as well. Now, before we get into the Sebastian Rogers case, I have to make some corrections where I have misspoke. In not one, but my last two videos, I made critical errors. And I refuse to not set the record straight because I am a truly honest person. So, in the video I'm talking about, it is a oh my gosh, well, it's OMG, oh my OMG, OMG, OMG. It's about the Idaho 4, which that whole theory, to me, it's all right on the mark for my belief as to what happened. But in the very beginning, I said it was 800 and some days. I said it was 2 years and da-da-da-da-da. What happened there? I want to apologize. I misspoke. I was working with two timelines. I was working with Hudson Lindo's enrollment into the U of I, which happened in 2021. And I was working with the year that the victims all suffered the homicide. And I unfortunately got my wires crossed. I'm going to blame Mercury retrograde, but whatever the reason, I screwed it up and I didn't catch it through the whole video. Nobody caught it on the live that I could see. Maybe there was, but I missed it. But I'm passionate about it. And I mean, I've been on the case since day one. And it really didn't affect what the point of the video was at all. And I feel that those that are continuing to drag it out and try to make it a huge deal and use it to discredit me because I said 2021 instead of 2022, I feel that you are using that as a distraction because you feel threatened by my theory. So keep it up. You're showing your true colors. Number 2. Oh, and I do humbly apologize for getting the date wrong. I truly do. I did that wrong. Okay? Number 2. Sebastian Rogers is from Tennessee, and I knew this. Again, I'm working on too many cases. I probably should take a break. I was going to be talking about his last known proof of life placement, which was Texas Roadhouse. And I said, I went through my spiel about Sebastian Rogers being from Hendersonville, and I should have said Tennessee. And I misspoke. I said Texas. I am very humbly sorry. It was not intentional. And when I have, a live, I'm going to misspeak at times. I appreciate those that are kind to me. There were thousands of you that were very kind. I would recommend to see if it's already been posted by over 100 people. Maybe don't add to the fuel, and certainly don't get sarcastic. And by golly, if you want to remain on this channel, don't you dare get derogatory with me. Because if you start calling me stupid or anything like that, I don't even read your comment. You might think you're posting. You're no more. So remind yourself, be kind to others and yourself and me. So I do want to say humbly, I am very, very sorry for these issues. I probably am going to continue to have issues as a Gemini in Mercury retrograde. But that being said, I got my boots on to dig through digitally. And so it was an issue on live chat. I was saying it, you made a mistake, yet get over it, but ugh. Okay, thank you, Jenny. And I humbly apologize. It is not something I can do where I'm like monitoring chat the whole time. And I catch everything. So all I can do is just apologize with the bottom of my heart and say I'm truly sorry that I misspoke. I did say Tennessee from then on. It was just that once in the very beginning of the video. I said Hendersonville, and I should have said Tennessee. But I said Texas, which was wrong. Wrong. So I want to come out and clear the record so that nobody thinks I'm intentionally doing something. But talking about intentionally doing something, we're going to be getting into that. And we cannot focus on all our faults, but to move forward. And again, I humbly apologize when I misspeak, and I'm probably going to do it again because this is never edited. This is authentic, and it is what it is. You either love me or you shouldn't be here. I mean, really, if you don't like me and you don't want to hear what I have to say, you are in control of your life. Don't waste your time, don't waste my time, and don't bother us because we do our best to love each other. We love each other around here. And nobody's perfect, right? I'm not making excuses. I'm owning up to it. I need to watch my words, especially being aware that it's Mercury retrograde. I just need to do my work and really slow down on what I'm saying. So, that being said, we've got our fair use disclaimer because I've got some what the hell clips for you today. Lord have mercy. I just want to take a minute before we start. I would like you to take a second. I would like you to go to your closet. I want you to get out some rubber boots, knee high. I want you to put a couple pairs of socks on in case there's any leakage. I want you to get on your oldest, dirtiest clothes, because we're about to wallow in the pig pen here with a lot of he said, she said drama. And our job is not to pick a side. And that's what I got to remember. Our job, our only job today, is to try to understand what this child has truly been through. Now, before we get going, let's remind ourselves that there were allegations laid out there by Seth, the real father, that Sebastian may have been SA'd at the age of around 7 by an older child. We now have the mother confirming this information, which, okay, put all the drama aside of the whose fault, right? This just hit us in the gut. Now my question is, how much did that play into the way that maybe others viewed Sebastian as a more higher risk of not understanding what happened to him and therefore maybe repeating what he was just taught? And therefore there was fear, and so there may have been this resentment. I'm trying to be in the house as if I'm Sebastian when I'm hearing these parents talk. And in that, this child has not only been emotionally abused, which is quite clear, in my humble opinion, but he has been physically struck or hit, whatever you want to call it. He has been SA'd. Okay? And all that comes to Mama D's mind is that there's no technical evidence of foul play against Dawn or Candace Wells either. So where in the world is Sebastian Rogers? Now, we had the last proof of life over at the Texas Roadhouse in Tennessee, the state. In Hendersonville, Tennessee, where Sebastian Rogers allegedly ate with Katie, his mother. Seth Rogers, the real father, went to the went to TBI, and he is being told that the last proof of life video, or last proof of life caught, is Katie walking away from Texas Roadhouse restaurant with Sebastian towards her car. That's it. That's it. So, fair use disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, and so forth. Okay. After it just is so heartbreaking. Let's do a trigger warning. If you have headphones on or your boss is listening, this is going to be very loud. Please mute. This is our goat. This is Billy. It's our mascot and our trigger warning. This is going to be talking about what Sebastian has been through. Just take a moment. Now, I am going to be pulling apart that there's a couple things in this that Katie says that I have questions on. But at first, I'm going to read through this. I want you to focus on Sebastian, not on Katie, not on Chris, not on Seth, not about anything else, not a thing else. I just want you to think about 15-year-old Sebastian sitting in his room alone for a minute. Maybe it's dark. He's laying in bed. Be in his world a minute with me. Thank you to Smiley's World for sharing this. Smiley's Story World. Katie Proutfoot allegedly wrote, that child was not 13, and we did not allow my son to be abused. We contacted all authorities. My son received all the available help he could get. Multiple therapists involved. His doctor did know, because he went to the doctor and got checked immediately. Seth was involved in his therapy as well. There are so many lies in this story, including him failing to mention where Seth got banned from the base for his violent tendencies, where at the time my son was seeing a psychiatrist and a psychologist to help him with his trauma from Seth's abuse and the trauma from being assaulted by this child. Let's back up. What she starts with in the sentence is, there is so many lies in this story. And then she goes to tell us the story. So immediately, I don't know if it's a true story or not, because she's already told me there is so many lies in this story. And she's going to tell me a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, all right, let's continue. Keep in mind, this is Sebastian sitting in his room after going through the hell he's been through, and even telling the school and probably the CPS workers and the doctors and everybody. And they gave him all the help they could, as if it was over and done with, and that it's not going to be a lifetime of counseling because somebody may be broken. Because she puts this in a conclusion. My son received all the available help he could get. All right. Let's continue. Let me be clear, which I doubt that's Katie's words. That is something we have been very trained to detect when Mr. Proudfoot would like to be inserting his words. And we all know Chris Proudfoot is never at a loss for words, and nor does he like it when his wife talks, or he would shut his mouth, in my humble opinion. He says, she, Freudian slip. Let me be clear. I think it is sickening that this man, distancing this man. Would Katie say this man? Not my ex-husband, not something like that, but this man. Katie says this man is airing my son's trauma online. My son deserves better than that. You know what? Sebastian deserves better than all yous. All of yous. Every damn one of you. Sebastian didn't deserve any of this shit. He was already put on this planet with some differences that made him unique. But rather than being treasured and enhanced to where he could be safe and see his 16th birthday, we don't know where the hell your kid is. And it's not, because we don't have listen. If this is Katie talking, I'll eat 10 bowls of soup. Let me be clear. I think it's sickening. This man is airing my son's trauma online. My son deserves better than that. When we find him, and I believe in my heart we will, the truth will come out. He is doing his best to slander us as parents. But my son is loved and cared for and always will be. My son is loved and cared for and always will be. My son is loved. Not I love my son. Not we love my son. But my son is loved. Well, right. Don't own your son. Don't ever say back to your son, I love you too. Good night. Don't say, I love my son. Ever. Keep it a distance. Keep this like, but my son is loved and cared for and always will be. And then, it's as if she's thinking about the public, if she's writing it, being the one that loves and cares for her son and always will be. Because she's right. Because then, that's what she starts the next sentence with. Public opinion based on lies, assumptions, half-truths is rampant because of things like this, which has nothing to do with finding Sebastian. Because of things like this, Katie, that you and Mr. Proudfoot are writing right now. Why do you not want the world to know what mental condition your son may be in? Why is it that TBI is using a picture that is so out of date, Katie? As a mother of a missing child, I would want that picture to be as up to date as possible. And I would damn sure make it my responsibility, my quest, that the most current picture of my son was on every flyer that anybody ever got. You're hiding behind a keyboard, Mrs. Proudfoot, with your beard. The half-truths and the lies are all over you guys. That's on y'all. You just validated Seth told the truth. The only one telling lies is you, allegedly. Because you just validated what Seth told us all. I will not stoop so low as to partake in a back and forth argument with him. God knows the truth, and the truth always comes out. Okay. You say that when you're in trial with us, in my humble opinion. But you say I will not stoop so low, but yet you want the last word, where you accuse him of lying, but really you're confirming he told the truth. Yeah, okay. Hey, Lady D, welcome for 20 months. Starlight Seed, thank you, my lovely. Aw, I love you too. Sharon Dane also had a huge milestone. I say huge. I think it was quite a while, but it was in the beginning. Oh, I lost our live chat looking for it. Hold on. Oh, no. I lost our live chat. Y'all give me a second. All right. Let me get back into chat. Whew. So I'm going to try to finish this. So I'm coming to you guys so you can tell me I'm all wrong or you can tell me I'm all right. I don't care. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I respect the opposite opinion. God knows the truth, and the truth always comes out. Please stop the madness and focus on finding Sebastian. At least, that's the only thing that makes sense out of this whole thing. Please stop the madness and focus on finding Sebastian. But here's where I have a problem. Because that, in capital letters, is the most important thing. Two problems. He's not a that, he's a who. And he's not in a thing. He's a person. So instead of saying, please stop the madness and focus on finding Sebastian, because he is the most important person. How about that? Miss that and thing and God and will. Look. Not all did. Will. God. That. Those are the words I choose to capitalize and scream out at us. Not all did. Yeah. So, woosa. I'm just saying. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's get over here to Topside. and see what your thoughts are on this. I should bring it up so you can see the rest. Whoop. It's Mercury retrograde. I'm telling you now, everything's not working the way I'd like. And I know it's tiny, but that is the only way I can get it to work. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, Lady D, 20 months. That's awesome. Sharon Dane, I think, was close to that time frame as well. And I know I also had a snooper chat in there. I want to say thank you so much. I got disconnected and booted off chat, and I'm unable to scroll back. So I am so sorry. But I want to say thank you. Can somebody tell me who? And I will thank them. Sherry, was that you, lovely? Whoever just did that snooper chat, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So now we know that this is true. That little Sebastian, 7 years old, had his innocence removed by another child in the home. We know that he went through counseling of some sorts. And we know he's missing. I don't know. Sharon Dane, 15 months. I think it was. I think you were right. Thank you, lovely. Thank you so much for being a starlight. I can't scroll back. It's killing me to think of what more we're going to find out. Like, I don't want to know more, but I want to know it all so that we can understand what Sebastian's went through. Hey, Teresa Super. Welcome to the channel. Linda Hisman says Ellie needs to go back to the dump, look for bedding, maybe blue, broken vase, umbrella, t-shirt. Oh, I hope that by a miracle that Sebastian is still alive. But my worst fear is that he left that restaurant and was transferred, and that there was some foul play. That's where I'm at. I absolutely have fear of that. Truthfully. So that was Katie Proudfoot's response. Now, we're going to get into the polygraph fight. I'll call it a fight. But it's he said, she said, between, you get it, Nancy Grace and Mr. Proudfoot, who actually says that Nancy Grace is telling untruths to her audience. All right? I just can't, you guys. This just gets crazy. Hey, Dana Lynn. Being from right here in Tennessee, they have a hit at the dump and are sifting like crazy with tents set up under tents. TBI has suspicion but don't have proof. Okay. Dana Lynn, are you saying right now Oh, you said TN, Tennessee. TBI has suspicion, but don't have proof. That's your opinion, I would guess. Because none of us are going to be privy to the true details. Brenda Bose says, I think he will do an online polygraph test that helps guilty people pass. For all we know, that is what the mom did. Y'all, did they ask her if anybody took Sebastian after that restaurant? I mean, did they think to ask that question? I don't know. She could have just been numb. You know what I'm saying? And there are certain personalities that can pass a test just by cool as a cucumber. And look at her focus. I'm just saying. She looks catatonic. Delene M. I cracked up at the so many lies in the story. Totally. They are all about lies and muddy in the water. Finding Sebastian is the most important thing. I feel that's the most important person indeed. Oh, thank you, Dana Lynn. Thank you, lovely, for the snooper chat. Thank you, Interior, for letting me know. I tried to catch it, and like I said, I got booted out when I scrolled back to look, and then I came back and it was gone. Hey, Hillary Paul, will we ever know the truth? I pray that we do. I truly do. And that's all I can say. Okay, let's get into the polygraph. Here we go.
Very, very beginning. Dave Mack, let me just say at the outset, recently, the stepfather, Mr. Proudfoot, stated that he would take a polygraph if we set it up. As a matter of fact, take a listen to this. Have the two of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
I understand. Ms. Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Okay, now listen to this. He says, I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph. I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one. Listen to more. And Mr. Proudfoot, you have volunteered to take a poly?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to set up a poly for you, would you take it?
Name the place and time, ma'am. I'll be there.
Well, we did. We did that. We set up a polygrapher, a very well-respected polygrapher, a place and a time. Mr. Proudfoot tells us that he has been instructed by the TBI not to be on with us today and ask for help finding his son, his stepson, and not to take a polygraph. I've never heard of that. I always loved it when witnesses, targets, or defendants, anybody would take a polygraph. If I want my own polygraph, I will get one as an assistant district attorney. So I find that very curious that he would be dissuaded from asking for the help from the public as we see a volunteer search launching right now with law enforcement and not to take a polygraph. Now, very curious.
Very curious. Well. Let's see what he says now. Chris has actually been asked, and allegedly he is responding in a DM that somebody has screenshot. Now, this could be fake. This could be rumor. I'm not spreading nothing. I'm showing you what is out on the streets, right? On the YouTube crime awareness streets. What is said to be said. All right, let's get it small enough you can see it, get it in full view. So this person starts, I think this was the answer they said. First, they post. If you didn't then, please do an interview separately. You two are always in interviews together. Why don't you do one separately to clear the air? We want Sebastian found. Please, he deserves this. Please. The person goes on to say at about 10 minutes later, you told Nancy Grace you would take one if she scheduled one. Dude, come on. Let's clear the air. It will shut up everyone. Allegedly, let's see if I can get it. There we go. Allegedly, this is Chris Proudfoot's answer. Allegedly. You are correct. I did. And I also informed Ellie that I was doing that. Ellie then told me they were going to administer the polygraph themselves. When I was told this, I informed Nancy's team and told them I would let them know after that was done. I haven't told her I wouldn't do it. I told after Ellie conducts theirs. But see, she hasn't told you all the truth either. Now, even if Nancy Grace may have not revealed everything, The biggest problem I have with this is this word right here. Right here. Let's see, can I draw on this? Can I draw on this? Is there a paint, a pen, a writer? Yeah. Oh, let's make it red. We'll learn as we go. Okay, from now on I'll be able to do this for you. Either he's owning up that he is not being honest. You know, you go up to two kids and you listen to the one, and then the second one you're like, well, did you do it? And the kid's like, well, he's not being honest either. You're like, oh, so you are lying. But see, she hasn't told you all the truth either. Keep talking, Proud Buzz. Keep talking. Let me pull it back up with all that on it. Again, he says you are correct. I did. And I also informed Ellie that I was doing that. Ellie then told me they were going to administer the polygraph themselves. When I was told this, I informed Nancy's team and told them I would let them know after that was done. I haven't told her I wouldn't do it. I told after Ellie conducts theirs. But see, she hasn't told you all the truth either. Are you kidding me? Annette S. says, I really wish that wasn't made public about Sebastian. Why, love? We have to be able to understand that he could be very much more susceptible to that type of victim. Okay? Unfortunately, it shows that he's that easily to be manipulated. That makes him even more high risk. And there are those of you that are going to feel that that was something that nobody needed to know. And there are those of us that want to know the full victimology, and so that we can actually try to understand where Sebastian's mind might be. And could he have run out of the car away from her on the highway? Well, if that's true, why wouldn't she have reported it right then? Or was there more to the story that we haven't heard yet? Are we going to find out more and more and then someday learn about a transfer where Katie can sit there and say she didn't do anything to her son because all she really did was let him get out of the car? All she did is stop the car and then told him to go somewhere? I don't know. But right there you have it. So, when is this polygraph taking place? Huh? TBI is doing a... Ellie then told me they're going to administer the polygraph. So, oh, yeah. TBI? Did he get... Is he really getting a polygraph test? Or is that just another cop-out? If I was TBI, I'd make dang sure that that was a prophecy that came true. I agree, Elmer Woods. Calling these people parents is an insult to actual parents. Austin D says, or he OD'd on those sleeping pills, and that was a thud. She panicked and threw him in the trash can, in my opinion. Mrs. Tina says, they're like children, big, grown, immature children. You know, for a guy and a woman named Proudfoot, it's like they don't want to put their foot on the ground and go look for their son. Are they too proud to put their foot on the ground to look for their son? I mean, at this point, there's no point because they can't. Because if they were the one to find Sebastian, they're going down. And they know it. But you know and I know they could be putting flyers up. Right? They could be putting flyers all over. Instead of doing this kind of stuff. Okay, check this out.
But I lost my voice the first week. Just driving around screaming my son's name. If he was in that area, he would have heard me. I have a pretty loud voice. It's, and then going back to everything, because now we're starting to research every place that we've been, because I think he's alive, and I think somebody has him, and I think they're moving him around, trying to stay away from wherever I'm searching. See how I've got people that want to follow me around, follow my volunteers around. They want to go in there a couple days after we've been there. We've gone back to places that we've put out flyers 3 days later, and there's no flyers there anymore. They're literally ripping our flyers down and getting rid of them. Somebody doesn't want me to find my son. It's not motivation to make me stop. You guys, you can't threaten me and make me stop. You might be able to stop volunteers from showing up because you're threatening people. But this is my heart that's out here missing, and I have to find it. I have to find the rest of me. And you guys ain't gonna make
The
me.
the one thing I say, so there are people that have been following him, that have been trying to interfere with the search, and the level of audacity. He is a corrections officer who works, in a prison with some of the worst of the worst. You're not going to intimidate this man.
You're not, because he wants his son found. But, you guys, who would be so nefarious as to bully the search team? Who has the attitude that there's a missing child, so I'm going to bully the search team? I'm going to confiscate and control the narrative online. Maybe I'm going to pull down the posters through nefarious means and pay homeless people to do it, whatever. I'm just saying, or people with a criminal background, whatever. This is bull. Why on earth would anybody sabotage the search for a 15-year-old autistic child? Never in my life have I heard such. And the only thing I can think of, and this is me, my own opinion, it would be the one that doesn't want Sebastian found. The ones. Yes, Kim Barnier, you heard me right, lovely. Seth and the other searchers are starting to go back and visit places where the posters have been ripped down. Lieber's Moon says, you can all see how Sebastian was treated by the Proudfoot family. It's on video at the outing. Chris's sister speaking to him in that way in front of Katie. Yep. It's really, really sad. So, we're going to take a second. We're going to stay on this. And we're going to jump into, I would call part 2, because I would normally end here. But it's Friday, so we're going to take it long. Hey, Michelle, why on earth do these people not want poor Sebastian found? I don't know. Why would somebody not want a child found? To me, would be is if they were responsible for his disappearance would be the only way. To me, only makes sense, like logical sense, that it would be somebody that is guilty of somehow hiding Sebastian that would then perpetrate a move like this, where hiring people or whatever you got to do to get people to take down Sebastian's posters. Darlene, or Delina M. Is it Delene? Yeah, Delene says, Proudfoot Mafia behind the controlling the narrative. Question. Cheryl Singh says, it's disgusting. Says, that's the $1 million question. right? To quote Mr. Crowdfoot, oh my lord, it's Mercury retrograde. This is gonna be fun. Told y'all I was gonna have a lot of slip ups. Now in the Idaho 4 case, my Mercury retrograde as a Gemini was I combined accidentally Bethany and Dylan's name into Dethany, and that's on that live. I mean, it's wreaking havoc with me. So you have to bear with me. I just said crowd, but Lunatica says people need to stop letting everyone know their next moves as far as the search teams. They are setting back listening. You know it. I agree with you. You get a gold star. Boom. You're right. That needs to be very tight to the vest where the searchers are, and there should be random returns, like quality controls. You don't have to send all the searchers back to the return area, but like there should be like a grid on the map. This is C10, and there should be the teams, and then over a time frame there should be returns to random places without anybody knowing except for one person, right? The head of the organization, like till that morning when the briefing goes out and say, hey, we're going to sector C10 again. And then even the searchers themselves are like, okay, we're headed to C10. That's just my opinion. I know I make it sound easy when I'm not boots on the ground, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. Cheryl Singh says they don't want him found, and Chris told the Seth, you'll never find him. I never heard that. I've never heard Chris say to Seth, you'll never find him. Ever. If I ever find that out, it will become so public, it will be on my front page. And so we're going to leave that on the rumors on the street with that one, because that's a hardcore rumor. I've never even heard a claim of that. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that's a he said, she said. For real. Karen Beth says you should see what CP, Chris Proudfoot's sister, has posted about Sebastian, and then she's got a really mad face. What? Ziggy's talking to me. My AI. Pendizzy says, who was out there, Cajun Army or something? I don't know. I'm not even going to touch that whole thing. Ellie said they didn't get any death threats. Well, they weren't the right district or something, and I don't know. It got all messy. Allegedly, there really were threats. I'm starting to believe there were. It's getting very confusing on that. Chris did say that okay, wait a minute. I've actually got that. This is what you're going into my secret here. Hold on. Let's get this set up for you. I'll let you see how this works. All right. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go missing kids. I want you to look at this. These are cases we've covered. We're going to come down here. We're going to go to Sebastian Rogers with clips. All right. So what was this about? This was about never being solved, right? Let's get this back online here. I'm reading it. I have it. Okay, I named it Go Down in History for Researchers as an Unsolved Case. Okay, here we go.
I won't keep y'all on here all night, but I want to ask you, like, how did just a couple more. How come LA, do you think, hasn't publicly cleared you, like in the public cleared you, come out and said, hey, their parents are clear? Because I know what you've said, Chris.
Right, but
Why?
they can't.
Why?
Because the investigation is still ongoing, because Sebastian is still missing, which is why they came out and clarified that no, we are not suspects, and yes, we are
if you're not guilty, the first thing that they would do, just like with Elizabeth Smart, is come out and say they're not guilty. Same thing with Brandy. I mean, Brandy Neal Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom. I mean, that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're not going to, and others in the news. That's just who I think you're familiar with. But that's what they're going to do. They're not going to just allow you to be sitting there hanging in the public's eye and take all this criticism and stuff.
There's so many agencies involved in this investigation.
I agree.
And I mean, across the board. And you think of an alphabet, it's probably involved, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have begged and begged and begged, and so has my wife. Seth, when he was at the house before, same thing. We all asked, why can't you come out and just say it? Y'all told us to our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And the response we get, because it's an ongoing investigation and protocol does not allow us to do that. And that is the answer we're given.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you're telling a lie. I'm just wondering why, because I would be demanding. I really would be demanding. I'm just trying to think, I would do everything in my power to, and I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying, again, one of my intros has it on there. I'm not saying, but you are suspicious, or this is suspicious, however I say it. And I mean that. I mean, things don't add up. Stuff don't add up. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful either. I'm really not.
I mean, so here's something that's very unique. And I mean, we talk about it whenever they come and they talk to us or they call us on the phone. This is a case that literally has got all of these agencies stumped. Okay, and I'm saying this very openly as far as, playing devil's advocate. Let's say one of us was suspected of foul play. Let's say something, right?
Right.
There's no way that we would outdupe all these agencies. There's no way. However, this 15-year-old boy has managed to outdupe everybody. Call him Houdini. He always wanted to be a ninja, and we kept goofing around. Well, he has officially done it, because poof, nothing. And it's, the cops have told us this is a case that will go down as a researched study case where they're asking the questions and looking for answers, and literally nothing. Everything they try to come up with, blank.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you guys. So there it is. That's what he had to say. And in that, he doesn't even. There's no emotion to it. He's almost like, I don't know. This case is getting to me, y'all. It's getting to me. So not only do we have somebody sabotaging the searchers, all right? But I really am having a hard time understanding why we're being told that set a flash of a movement of lights in that footage. I don't understand that. I don't understand what anybody's telling me other than we're being told it's a garbage truck. So I went and looked up a garbage truck. All right? Let me get it ready for you. All right. Let's get this. I went and looked up a video of a whole bunch of garbage trucks. And I mean, this isn't Sesame Street, but guess what? They all are required in every single state in the United States to have. Guess what they're all required to have? Anybody want to tell me what every single garbage truck that I'm about to show you has? Karen, Texas says they're blaming Sebastian for his own disappearance. I caught that too, honey. Colleen Novak wants to know if they paid somebody to take him away. Linda Heinzman says Sebastian will be found in a couple of months by accident, in my opinion. Tiffany Crockett's calling it out that Chris says he always wanted to be a ninja. Thank you, Tiffany Crockett. That is very important the way he said that. He always wanted to be a ninja. Well, he's done it. Sam R. believes that Chris Proudfoot thinks he's outsmarting everybody. Austin D. says, in my opinion, Katie's hiding him. In my opinion, the search got too big and too much coverage, and now she's scared and doesn't want to admit she's been hiding him this whole time because of the backlash she received. I hope that's true. I hope this mom was just dumb and decided to hide him from Chris and Seth because she didn't want to give her son up or something. I hope he's well. I hope he's got like his PlayStation. He's eating popcorn. And I hope we find him real soon. I really do. Elmer Woods, welcome to 1111 True Crime again. You say these people are the rich version of the Wells. Amen, brother. Pass the popcorn, pass the butter, whatever. I'm just saying. Right? I'm with you. He's saying case closed sounds proud. Lady X, thank you, lovely. All right, you guys. So this is weird. I will tell you that this is allegedly not 311. Allegedly, that is a time stamp that is stuck on the original footage. I am not showing you that footage right now. I am showing you stock footage of many garbage trucks. So I just scooted along for 45 seconds through garbage trucks. We'll just let the video play. I didn't care. I just wanted you to notice it's got flashing lights. This one has flashing lights. That one has flashing lights. Not only on the back, which we see up in here. Back, this side, the top, the bottom, here, and here, and here. There are flashing lights on every one of these damn trucks. But we don't see it in the other footage. And that's weird to me. And I'm not saying this footage is authentic. Just so you know, TBI has said that there is nothing to these lights. Nothing to see here. I'm just saying it's really strange. It's really, really strange.
Man, and this one is getting the most attention, showing signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see, two light sources, which we've circled to help you follow. For point of reference, the security camera was pointed toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then, subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it.
All right there. How can a light that allegedly, one of the lights was allegedly lighting up cars that are parked in a driveway. How can it be moving So no, I'm not going to go with that. I don't care who tells me that one of these two subjects that are moving in this picture, I don't care who you are. I don't care, well, how many letters you got in your name. I do not believe you when you tell me that I am watching a stationary light. It's not. It's moving. It's moving off screen. Number 2. This light is not a consecutive blinking light in any way, and there is movement, and there is no blinking lights around this light. So that has me questioning as well. Number 3, why would it be returning and it be so much darker? Here's what I feel. On the way there, the person is facing the camera with their light. On the way back, they still have a light, but their back is towards the camera, so they're just being slightly illuminated. Whether this has to do with Sebastian or not, I don't know. But I just can't personally accept and swallow down that this footage has nothing to do with Sebastian. What do you guys feel? Nettie agrees. Elmer Woods says, wonder if they have Alexa in their home. Anyone know? I would love to know that. Truth for Us says, trash night in the area. Get your camera, stand in that spot, and prove it right or wrong. Right? I'm not in that area. And we don't know the spot that it's being filmed from. Half pint. But at the same time, this is not a full screen video. It's cropped according to Seth, so we can't see the whole picture. And I agree. Okay? But even if there is a trash truck in the video with all its flashing lights in the bigger screen, does it explain these two lights that are not related to a trash truck, in my opinion? Because even if you were just watching one, the trash truck isn't going to back up and it light go dim. It's not going to move in that way either. That is physical movement of people. It appears to be walking. You can see the bouncing in the gate. I'm going to mute the sound and play it again for you. Let's back it up. Okay, right here. Let's play it. Okay, it's muted. All right, so here you are. Right here. This light is moving all over the place. This one is making... Oh, shoot. I forgot. They cut away for a minute. We'll get back into it. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Where is it? They're going to start it over. This guy or girl or person is waiting. This person is moving back and forth, disappears, light out. This person gets further away and disappears. Here comes this person, goes the same path to that. All right, so I'm going to ask you this. If this is, the bigger screen is a trash truck, is it possible... I'm just asking, because this could explain it. Is it possible that the trash truck is parked off the screen we're not seeing, because we only got that small portion, and these are actually guys that are trash picker-uppers wearing headlamps? Because I need to get to the bottom of it, one way or another. Is this actually only the small part of the frame where it's the human beings collecting the garbage wearing a headlamp? Right, the camera seems to be moving too, which is weird to me. I would think it would be a stationary camera. Right, Christy B? Cheryl Sines says, I honestly don't want to judge, but something is wrong regarding Kate and Chris, in my opinion. Bella Winfield says, it looks like someone passing something off to the other light person. Then the first light in person ran back into the Proudfoot's sunroom, in my opinion. Kelly Williams says, I don't believe the stepdad is sorry to say. Is there more to the story? Even Nancy Grace stated stepdad needed to take a lie detector, both the mom and stepdad, and then to take off, and then they move away. We don't know where they went, but we know they're watching social media. They're watching all the podcasts. Did they lawyer up and being told to be quiet? Or are they just sitting there watching it all? And I don't know. So I thought it was interesting. Let's see what this one is. Okay, that's what we just watched. Okay, this is how also I want to keep us clear on something. And this is my final thing I got to go over. So we didn't go over too far in time. Probably about 20 minutes, not too bad. I want us to listen to this last recording. You heard it yesterday. It's very short, but it is about the fact that there were no lights on in the home. Where's that one? Let's see. Did I lose one? Hold on, you guys. No, not that one. Not that one. No. Okay, I found both of what I want. Okay, I got them. I'm ready. Okay, we've got two little clips. What the heck clips, right? And this is the thing. You guys, listen to this one.
And do you have any theories or suspicions about his disappearance that you want, that you're comfortable sharing? If not, that's okay.
I'll let you know. I have theories and suspicions all day long, but they're suspicions. Can't really back it up because I'm not in charge of the investigation. But it don't make sense if there's no scent of him leaving the house on a weekend that was 70, 75 degrees. Then he didn't walk away from the house.
I think that it's very, I'm just going to say it. I think it's very obvious he didn't just walk away from the house. If the story that's being painted or told to us is true, and he went out there barefoot, then there is no way that those bloodhounds would not have picked up a scent leaving that property somewhere, and they didn't. So there's no way that he.
Been something. There's concrete. You lose skin cells all the time. You're barefoot. Even if you got socks on, you're going to lose particles. They're going to. It's just. None of this makes sense. None of this makes.
The only thing that would make sense for the dogs not to get a scent is that if he left that house in a vehicle and didn't walk off like they said. That's the only thing that could make sense. That's the only reason why a dog would not have picked up a scent. Any of the dogs that came out would not have picked up a scent. No cameras picked him up. And there are, in 2024, people, you don't just vanish.
No. In 2024, I'll walk outside right now and you look around and people have at least their porch light on. Something that makes it obvious so that if you're walking around the house, they can see. Nobody has their yard and their house all blacked out so that cameras can't see shit unless you're fucking hiding something.
Right? And for those of you that believe that the neighbors said that the lights were on the garage in front of the Proud Puts that night, that has not been said to my knowledge. I've looked high and low, researched everywhere. Nope. Not said. In fact, we had the opposite. JLL talked to him, and from what I understand, there were no lights on. You just heard Seth, the real dad, say there were no lights on. Okay? Here you go. Let's go ahead and listen to Katie herself tell Nancy Grace there were no lights on that night except for her solar garden lights. Now, the only person that says that those garage lights were on is the one person that's supposed to be in Memphis and not have a clue what lights are on. And how's he going to know? He ain't got no security system to be looking at on his phone and go, oh yeah, my garage lights are on or off. Remember? He's not there. So he misleads this entire conversation. But if you listen close, before he opens his mouth, Katie makes it clear. There are no lights on that night. And Seth already just told you it was a blackout that night right there. On the one night that Sebastian goes missing, it's a blackout. Here you go.
Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they
but not
on that
motion
night?
censored.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out.
No, ma'am. Were they on that night? No, ma'am.
The whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we.
Just my solar lights. So, right here, we are learning that that night, right from the mother and right from the real dad, that it was a blackout on Proudfoot's home the very night Sebastian went missing. Now, the guy that allegedly isn't there is about to open his mouth. And what does he do? He's going to confirm to you that that's not normal. But that is so abnormal that he is not aware that those lights are off. Here's where Chris proves he doesn't know that those lights were off. Or, I'll give him a different way to look at it. If he didn't know those lights were off because he wasn't there, then he is there and lying. One way or the other, because the lights were off. We're going to listen to this one more time about the mother, right?
Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they
but not
on that
motion
night?
censored.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were the lights out the whole night? Yes, ma'am.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's
Yep.
2 lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Oh, yeah, those are on.
Yeah, there's 2 lights above the garage that are on at all times. So he took the conversation and decided to talk about a very vague amount of time, all times, rather than letting the focus be that night. All that she is asking about is that night. So we're dealing with Nancy Grace, and she's smart. So she is now about to lock him in. And this is where either Chris wasn't there, and therefore he has no idea that the lights were out all night, because they're always on, except for the night Sebastian, 15, autistic child, goes missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. The one night. Or Chris Proudfoot is lying to Nancy Grace. You pick. You tell me.
Oh, there's a light above the garage that's on at all times?
There's 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I heard you say earlier, Mr. Proudfoot, that your neighbors have been very, very forthcoming with their Ring camera info. And I was
Yes,
trying to determine if any lights were on, what, if anything, they may have caught. But I understand from your previous interviews that nothing of any evidentiary value was caught. And also, in another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the 2 flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that 2 flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
You're
Yes.
very correct.
Okay.
So, is it, you feel me, right? Where I'm just like, wind down. Because I can't anymore. This case. I mean, to tell you, it has been basically a month since Sebastian went missing. And all we can do is keep working, keep his little face out there, pray for his safe return, you know, and monitor this, because I hope that they keep opening up so that we learn. Maybe somebody will finally come out with what happened to Sebastian in all this heated argument. I mean, right now we're watching the drama, and it's telling us a lot about what Sebastian really had to deal with. Really, really, really. And I'm asking you guys, do you believe that TBI actually told Chris Proudfoot that they're going to give him a lie detector? Or do you think he's lying? That he just made that up? What are your thoughts? All right, my lovelies. I love you so much. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Unless something just inspires the heck out of me, I am going to try to stay offline for the weekend. Well, not offline. I'm still going to be watching and any interviews and all that kind of stuff. But I have some work I want to get done around the house. So I'm going to do my best. I love you all very, very much. I thank you humbly for working on getting his little face out there. If you got flyers, or you're like, I wish I had flyers, make sure you're getting them out there. And if you want flyers, go to double exclamation point, Finding Sebastian Rogers, double exclamation point on Facebook. They'll connect you. Let them know you're looking for flyers so that you can blanket your town, your area for Sebastian. We got to do double work on getting his name out there if we have sabotagers. But I want to leave you with a thought before we go. You know, I felt personally that Sebastian was being bullied in the Proudfoot home. That was just how I personally felt. I felt like Chris bullied a lot of the interviewers. I felt like Chris bullied some of the people that tried to ask questions. And now we have the search groups that are looking for Sebastian with all their heart, just volunteers, being bullied, and the pictures and flyers of Sebastian being taken down. I'm just going to drop it right there. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I love you. To the moon and back. Thank you all so incredibly much. And as Warrior Girl says, have a blessed weekend, everyone. Thank you, Warrior Girl.